explain myself.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of DGXM podcast with Rock and Dea. We are so excited to bring you someone on the show today who was one of the first contestants on Love Island Albania. We've heard of Love Island around the whole world, and here we are doing it in a place like Albania, a place that had mixed perceptions, misunderstandings, but we had trailblazers in that house creating real connections that also took different turns of fate. And her name is Xhesika Elezi. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Hi guys, really nice to meet you. Thank you for having me into your show. It's a big pleasure for me, and I'm really happy to be here for you today with you today.
We're so excited. And Jessie, can you tell us where you're calling in from?
I'm calling from London right now. Okay. I'm in London, and in my clinic actually in this moment. So yeah,
that's awesome. So, before we get into the details of your time on the reality TV show, which is kind of like a dating TV show, but in a different format, we want to ask you a bit about yourself. So Rock and I are going to get into that together. I want to ask you, as a girl who's from Albania herself, who moved from Albania when she was 6 years old, where are you from in Albania? Where did you grow up? And how was your experience like as a child growing up in Albania?
So I'm from Lash, actually. I was born in Tirana, and I moved from Albania. I left Albania at the age of 3, when I was 3 years old, and I started my new life in Italy. The beginning, it hasn't been easy at all, because in that period, we're talking about 97th, there was a lot of racism against Albanians, and it's been really, really difficult for me to trying to find my place, because I just learned to talk in Albanian. I had to learn a new language. You guys know, you've been through that as well. It's not easy, and it's like trying to find your place in a place that's not yours, where people are trying also to show you, look, this is not your place. You're from somewhere else. So I guess that's what actually makes us really, really strong, because I grew up being proud of the place that I was from. And I was proud to show and tell everyone, look, I'm from this place, and I have no problems to tell you guys. The main thing was my name, because as you can see, my name is spelled in Albania. So when I started going to school, everyone was looking at my name like, how do you even pronounce this? Because in Italy, it's like Xhesika, it's not Jessica. So, but yeah, I started to find my place in the word, basically. And to the point that I learned Italian, and I got even an accent in Italian. So if people listen to me speaking right now in Italian, no one will ever realize that I'm not a proper Italian. And I had an happy life, actually. I was a girl who always had a passion to help others. I followed my studies to become a nurse and specialized as a paramedic in Italy. After a couple of years, my parents got divorced. So that's the period of my life. The baby's it's not been that easy to face. As the eldest child, I had responsibilities to go through. I have a younger sister and a younger brother as well. And to the point that my mom decided to leave Italy and start a new beginning in London. So that's when I decided to follow her as well. We're really close together. We are like friends, more than just mom and daughter. After the COVID period, because everything was locked, the lockdown, and we couldn't really travel, I decided to leave everything and start again from the beginning in London.
Oh, wow.
In the beginning, it hasn't been easy at all, actually, not at all. Because learning English, starting again, new culture, new lifestyle. But I'm more than happy to be here right now, because sometimes, it's just to take that step.
Yeah.
Your English sounds pretty good for somebody that's only 3 years there.
She was complaining to me earlier. She's like, oh no, let's do the interview in Albanian, but she's blowing me away with her English. So Jessie, whatever you feel comfortable with, but I
offered to talk in Albania, it's still up.
It's okay, you can speak in Albanian.
Do you prefer in Albanian?
Any language for me.
Dito e kthehemi në shqip edhe anglisht kur flasim shqip, nëse të flet Rocky mund të flasi anglisht.
Okay.
Po.
Okay, si të doni.
However you like.
Rock, why don't you tell her where you're from? Because I feel like you guys are from a similar region of Albania.
It's just funny because me and her kind of have a similar story too, leaving countries at 3 years old, going to a different country, learning that language. Like I was born in Slovenia, came to America when I was 3 years old. So it's very interesting, you know, for her and me to kind of be at the same age gap, same group, and now you're going to a different country, trying to figure out, am I going to be liked? Am I going to learn the language quick enough? Why are people laughing at my name? Like my name Rak is spelled R-R-O-K. So for me, when I was in school, it was the same thing. Oh my God, are they going to make fun of me? They're going to know right away I'm not from here. But honestly, I think that transition was very smooth for me being a kid coming in this country, where now you've already done 2 major moves and now you're in London as an adult.
Yes.
This is a little bit different, but it's very unique, you know, and I think the upbringing for me as well was kind of similar to you. And you know what? How did this feel for you as a kid? Like, I know maybe you were scared, but did you ever in a way feel like, you know what, maybe I don't have to fit in, maybe I can be different, maybe it's good for me to be a different person in this culture where I'm at today? How did you feel with that? How did you feel being Albanian amongst Italians? Was it always scary? Was it easy? Was it rough, besides, you know, the racism, you know, because I know there was something you said about racism. How was that, dealing with that?
So the beginning, it wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all. I used to be bullied a lot because of my name, because I was from Albania. The main thing that my friends at school used to say were like, go back, jump into the boat and go back from where you are. That was, for a child, that is really, really painful, because you're like, why are they even talking to me like this? I haven't done anything wrong. It's just my name. And I used to go back home and cry. And that was literally a very bad period for me. And the main strength came from my family. I remember there was this day where I was bullied in the school bus on my way back from school to home. And my mom used to wait for me at the pickup point for all the students. And I came from the school, from the bus school. I came down from there crying. I got off crying. And my mom was like, what happened? And I explained to her, there's this boy, he keeps telling me, you're Albanian, go back to Albania. And I remember my mom, as a proper proud Albanian mom, she jumped into the bus and she took this guy. She was like, you should stop telling to my girl to go back to Albania. Otherwise, I will take you from the ears and bring you back to your mom right now.
Love it.
So that day I was like, wow. She protected me. And I felt so proud that I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm proud. I'm proud to be like my mom. I'm proud to be Albanian. And there's no way that no one will ever make me feel ashamed from where I'm from.
I love that.
And that's when I actually started being like very proud.
Yeah, it took me a long time to feel proud also as a kid here, when I'm like, nobody knows what an Albanian is here in the United States. No one knows my language. No one knows who I am. So I felt that same thing too with the security. I'm like, I don't have anybody to protect me. I don't have anything, until I had a moment like that as well too, where I finally felt proud to be Albanian. So it's good. It's good that you had that, and you had that early, you know, you started early. So it's nice. And we both come from Northern Albania too, which is nice. I'm from Merdit. So it's very,
really?
Yeah, we're right there.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
Yeah, neighbors. That's why Dea
Neighbors,
said,
and now
explain
on
to her where
camera.
you're from, because we're both, I think, from the same area almost. So it's pretty cool. It's cool to see this story, you know?
Yes.
So, Jess, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because anch'io parlo italiano, and I used to live
Davvero?
ho abito in Firenze.
No way, anch'io.
And I have the same story.
Yeah.
Like you. So when I was very young, 3 years old, actually, my family moved to Italy because we had family there. And I remember very clearly, we were at a park and I was playing with an Italian girl. And this was back when it was 1999 or something like 1998. And Albanians had been leaving because of the civil uprising in Albania. People didn't understand it. And I was communicating to her in Italian. We can pass as Italian. They thought I was Italian. The second her grandmother found out at the time that we were Albanian, she's like, sono albanese. And she swiped her granddaughter away from her. I just remember, like, what's wrong with me? You know, why did she have this repulsive reaction? And now it's interesting because things have changed, you know, Bota Merota, Italiano di Shqipëri, Italians are coming to Italy to go to school after getting their pension to live a great life that's more economic, and Albanians are actually very welcoming of them. They speak the language and they found a culture that they love. So it's very interesting that we share the story, but I think it's contributed to who you are today and the strong woman with purpose. All the bullying and stuff, I kind of went through it when I was in school in America, but honestly, I wouldn't take it back because I can look anyone in the face today and be like, you don't scare me. Like, this is a reflection of you, especially when people are mean and cruel or they create rumors, they see something great in you that they kind of want for themselves. So we take Jessie from her time in Albania to moving to Italy. And then after her teenage years, she gets her nursing degree. What drew you to the opening and application of Love Island, Albania? How did that story start?
That story is actually crazy. So I was here in London and I didn't even know about this show. I didn't even know what Love Island was. But I had a couple of cousins here in London. They loved this show, and here in UK it's very popular. So they were like, "Oh, just look at this show. You have to come to see it with us. There is an Italian guy. His accent is really funny." And that's when I learned about what Love Island was. A year after, when I was just coming out from a relationship that hurt me a lot, it was 6 months that I've been single, and out of the sudden I see on Instagram this promo of Love Island taking place in Albania, and there's a friend of mine, she goes like, "Why don't you apply?" And I was like, "Do you even see me in a show like that?" I was like, "No, it's not for me. I won't be able," because it's not about prejudice, because thankfully, I should say that raising in Italy helped me to open to different cultures. So it's not about being scared to be prejudicuar from others. Yes. So it was more like, I don't really see me on a TV show. And she was like, "Just apply. You'll never know. Maybe they will never call you." So I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to apply as a joke." So I did the application and I was called. I saw this number on WhatsApp from Albania. I was like, "Oh no, this is actually happening." So I had a chat, had a conversation with this girl that was part of the show, and she was like, "Okay, Jess, you can come to do the live auditions and see how you find it, and maybe we can decide if you can be part of the show." So the period that I was on holiday, actually in Albania, I went for the live auditions, and they said, "Okay, Jess, yeah, you will be part of the show." So that's how it started. And I remember my grandma, she gave me only two advice. The first one, she was like, "Cover yourself. Mos të shoh unë që të dalësh ti në televizor e pambuluar." And the second one, she was actually, "Be careful," she said, "because you're going to jump in a place full of wolves, because the culture is different." And I said, what we were talking about earlier, I said, it's okay, because whoever will decide to judge me in a bad way just because I take part on a TV show, still being myself, it's someone that still I don't want to be part of my life. So it won't make any difference. And luckily or unlikely, I still don't know how to say that, but I found my ex in the show. And this wasn't
so
on the
plan.
plan.
Did that happen? Because you go in there with this mentality, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to present myself as a strong, woman that won't fall into wolf traps. How did you meet him? What's his name, if you want to mention him? And how did that love story start?
So the story started like that. I was taken into the show. I was approved as someone who was part of the show. And they told me, okay, Jess, you can go back to London and you're going to see a teaser video where there's some parts of the body of whoever's going to be part of the show. When I came back to London, I saw an arm full of tattoos, and obviously there could have been only from one person. That was my ex arm. So I called the regisseur of the show and I said, I'm not having this. I can't come to the TV and make like a funny show with trying to make a funny show with my feelings. I will never be able to do that because I am not, there's one thing that I'm not able to do, which is to pretend. And he said, but you'll be fine, don't worry. So I said, no, I've made my decision. If he's part of the show, I'm not coming. And that was it. The show began and I wasn't there. And then, but he wasn't there either. So I was like, what's going on? Then they called me. They were like, Jess, we really liked you. You can come, sign the contract, because as you can see, he's not in there. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm coming. So went to Albania, signed the contract, but the day after, he went into the show as a bombshell. So I didn't have much choice.
So they
straight
lied
after
to you.
him. Sorry?
So they like lied to you pretty much.
Sort of.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a TV show.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I went into the show, there was a mess in my head, because you can think about how you are going to act, but you can never predict how feelings are going to affect the way you will act. And that's what actually happened, because the idea was like, I will never go back to him because he made me suffer. There is no way, there is no point. Why am I even going back to him? But when I went there, feelings came up again. And I was like, oh God, no, this is actually happening right now. So it wasn't easy at the beginning because I felt a lot of pressure in my shoulders. My family didn't like that guy. I remember my mom's advice, just this ended up once, there's no point to try again, because just open your eyes, look around and see if you really find someone that may be interesting for you. The problem is that my eyes were like only on one direction, and I was blind when it comes to see other guys. I wasn't even interested to see other guys. So I focused my energies, my feelings, everything to that person, because I still have that belief that if something happens, there is always a reason why. So I was like, you know what, this thing happened, I'm feeling like I really want to be next to this person and only this person in this show, and that's what I'm gonna do. So against everyone, literally everyone, I decided to follow my own way. I decided to follow my feelings. It ended up showing that I was wrong, because it wasn't the right decision. We are here today, I'm single, but I'm happy because I have no regrets. I followed my heart. It proved me that my beliefs were wrong, but I learned from that. Is an experience. Whatever doesn't give you what you want, teaches you what you don't want. So that was a good lesson for me to learn. And I'm happy and proud that I shared my story with everyone, because that wasn't easy as well. Going a show and your private life out of sudden is out. Everyone knows about you. Everyone knows about who you are, what you do, what you've been doing before, and what you are planning to do after. And everyone wants to know, mostly in the Albanian community. Because when I left the show, everyone was like, so when are you guys getting engaged? When are you guys having a family? When are you guys getting married? And I was like, oh, hold on. I just started again from a relationship that was broken. So I have to fix many things before making that step and decide that I'm going to get engaged, I'm going to get married, and I'm going to have a family. And I come from a family where there has been a divorce. So I know what that means, and that's again something that I don't want in the future for my own family. So I want to be sure that the person that's going to be next to me, it will be my partner, I will be his partner, and it will be for life. We're going to be the support and the most strong base for our family.
Now,
Bravo.
now explain to some of our followers who are listening, because there's probably a lot of people who don't know what Love Island Albania is. Can you explain to them
Yes, of course.
what the
So
format of show is?
That's a show where basically there's 6 single girls and 6 single boys. They meet for the first time in the show, and they get to know each other. You're 24 hours on camera, closed in a villa without any contact from the external world. So you have no phone, no time, no clock. You have no idea what time
Like
it
Big
is.
Brother,
You can just
almost.
look at the sun and that's it.
Mhm.
But it's a nice environment because obviously it's a luxury villa. You don't miss anything. You have a beautiful sea. You have a beautiful pool, the gym, and everything. So you decide to couple up with someone. The main aim of the show is to couple up with someone. If you don't couple up, you will be out of the show.
Okay.
And there's temptations, of course, because every once in a while, there is a bombshell coming from outside, which either could be a girl or could be a boy. And when the bombshell comes from outside, has the right to choose which couple to split.
Mhm.
But that's actually one of the games. That if you are strong enough and if you really love each other, there is no bombshell that will ever break you. And that's what actually happened to me, because I went through so much. I decided to try and couple up again with this guy, try to prove to the whole world that it was worth it.
Mhm.
And then nearly at the end of the show, there was a bombshell coming from outside
Mhm.
who decided to split our couple right in the
Mhm.
moment that we decided to become a proper couple. And I
Uh,
was like, okay, that's fine. This is going to be a challenge, but at least it will prove me if he is for me or not. So it wasn't easy. That's when a madness happened into the show, because my mom sent me a video message like, Xhesika, open your eyes. What are you doing, girl? Open your eyes.
that's
And but eventually the bombshell was the one that left the show, because apparently I won in terms of feelings and in terms of couple. The couple was strength than the temptation that the bombshell was trying to bring in order to break us.
okay.
The broken point was when you face the reality. Because in the show, everything is nice, everything is like a fairy tale. Although you have challenges and games, you are in a luxurious villa, you can only enjoy yourself, but you can't really face reality. So, work commitments, family commitments, respect for each other, living together 24 hours with within the real life.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that, yeah, this is why it didn't work the first time.
Mhm. Well, that's really intriguing. And there's a lot of energies involved in that small space. And, whether it be Albanian couples or any other couples in the world, when there's so many people involved, it can get really, really tricky. Did you ever think to yourself, maybe it would have been more interesting and better if I chose someone else in the house?
No, I don't think so, because as I said earlier, I'm not able to pretend, and I know myself. If I don't feel like I'm settling well in a
Mhm.
place, I'd rather leave than
Mhm.
try. So I know that I didn't see anyone that could have been interesting apart from him in
Mhm.
that show. And thinking about it right now, if he wasn't in that show, it would have been really difficult for me to find someone that could have been in a couple with me, because there wasn't really anyone
Mhm.
for me in that show.
So after you guys had this romance in the house and you tried to patch things up and there was a bombshell that tried to come in and break your bond, etc., what happened after that, after the show ended? How did things continue and finally end for good?
So after the show, when we came back to reality, there was a mix of feelings. I was happy, he was happy, but we were trying to settle with the fact that you're walking and everyone is recognizing you. Everyone knows about your story, everyone knows about you. And again, a lot of people have lots of expectation. There was someone that after a week, when are you gonna have a baby? Oh, I was like, oh, hold on. When are we gonna have a baby? So it apparently worked well because, and thinking about it now, this is really sad. Sometimes you can be blind from feelings. You can be really blind. You can be blind to the point that you are loving for two, you are focusing for two, you are putting energies in a relationship for two, and you don't realize that. And everyone around is telling you, hey, open your eyes because you're doing everything, but it's just you. It's just you giving, but are you even receiving something back in terms of feelings, not even material stuff? I'm not talking about material stuff. And there was actually a breaking point when, after an argument, I remember telling him, I was like, I don't want my man to be like this. That's just a little part from an argument. And he goes like, am I even your man? So I was like, whoa, hold on. I've been doing all of this for now 2 years. And no, this is not worth it. It's not worth it. I can't keep doing, I can't keep giving, I can't keep wasting energies, because that's how I felt. There was a point in my life that I actually felt drained because I was trying to prove everyone wrong rather than myself. I was so focused to prove everyone around me, look, you are all wrong. Everyone is wrong. He is worth it. And I love him. But I was actually the one that was blind. And I didn't even try to prove it to myself first.
You were
But
trying to
again,
find reasons to prove yourself wrong.
yes,
Because the more energy you put into something, the more time, even honestly, let's talk about it, money, energy, love, the more you don't want to be wrong because you've invested so much in the idea of building something new. It's
exactly.
like, I have to let it go.
And you
So
feel like, no, I can't. Maybe no. Let's give it one more try. Let's try again. But no. But to my personal belief is the reality is that you have to face that reality yourself. No matter how many people are going to tell you you are wrong, you have to realize that yourself. There's a way of saying in Italy that goes like, you can be a Ferrari going 300 miles per hour and you don't know that your brakes are not working till the moment that you crash. And when you crash, it hurts, but you understand how important was to have fully working brakes. And that's what happened with me. I was a Ferrari going 300 miles per hour in a motorway without minding whoever was around and if I would have ever been able to stop myself. But when I did, it's because I was drained.
Yeah. So your body told you. And, actually, I have a couple of questions for you, advice that I want to ask from you. But before I do that, I'm going to hand it over to Rock to ask 2 questions.
Oh no, go ahead. Ask your questions because I could always ask some follow-up.
Okay, I'll ask mine, then you can ask yours, and we can go back into that order. But I like the analogy you gave of the brakes and the car because it comes to a point where your body is telling you, even if your mind is like, no, your body's like, stop. This is not working. And you're fighting your instincts. And that's something that I am kind of like the opposite. So from the beginning, I like to make sure the brakes are in the car. I like to make sure the car is completely checked and all the analysis has been done. I'm going to test drive it before I even take it for a spin. So what advice do you have for people like me that find a red flag with everything and are very easy to kind of like cut something off before it begins, like more mind oriented than heart oriented, but want to be a bit more heart oriented? What is your suggestion?
I'm going to stay on the same example of the car. If you check your car, it's fully working, the tank is full, the brakes are fine, and you start going in your motorway and enjoying your drive 300 miles per hour because the car is fully working. Would you ever be able to predict if one day that car will break?
Well, it depends if you see the signs or not. So you're saying if you see the signs, don't start the car. But what's a good sign? Like the windshield isn't working? You're like, I can fix the windshields? Or is it like the exhaust?
You will never know.
You know
You
what,
will
Jess?
never
I think
know.
you and I should open a car detailing service or like a car service because we seem to like cars more than guys. And it
But
can
this
be
is
a
the thing,
female-run brand.
because I was actually having this conversation with a friend the other day,
Mhm.
and we exactly the same. She was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, Jess, you try to focus too much energies, but for me, when I see a red flag, that's it, it's over." So
Mhm.
that is the thing. I believe in life, you have to be able to compromise.
Mhm.
Maybe you can say that, okay, no, this person is not for me because he has this thing, and that's a massive red flag for me.
Mhm.
But sometimes you can also be like, okay, there is a red flag, but am I willing to compromise?
Mhm.
Is he worth willing to compromise? Because otherwise, you will never find a person that's perfect for you, because we are not perfect. No one is perfect. And to my personal belief, there is no person in this world, there is no couple in this world which is perfect. Everywhere there is arguments, everywhere there is difficult situation, but that's what actually makes a couple: willing to compromise, willing to be there for each other when that person is showing you, look, I'm not perfect. Because you will never be perfect. Let's be realistic.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
look, every day people go in planes, they don't know the pilot. People go on a train, they don't know who's running the train. They go on a bus, they don't know who's operating the bus, but you still trust those people with your life. So sometimes you have to take these people the same way you would any of these pilots or conductors and kind of give them a little bit of faith, and sometimes you gotta, yes, there could be red flags right at the beginning, but sometimes you have to give a little bit of a chance.
Yes, because you never know. I think there's a moment in life right now where there's not much will to try and see beyond the
Yeah.
first difficulty. So because maybe there is a lot of choice, or I don't really know where is the problem. Let's say it's a problem, let's call it a problem, I don't know. But I can tell that it became even more difficult right now to find a partner, because at the first difficulty, one of the two is ready to run away.
Mhm.
But this is not what actually makes a couple. You have to be there for your partner and support your partner in the more difficult moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's all really beautiful. And, I think people listening to this may have different perspectives, but they can all take something from it, whether
Yeah.
they're driving really, really fast or they're taking their time to feel something out. I think doing your own gut checks is important, and also what you prioritize in life. That's also really important, how they fit into that. But you have to come as two together. But I think when you're analyzing someone and you're thinking, are they right for me or not? Sure, everyone has problems and difficulties and stubbornness in their ways. I think it's important to understand, like, is this person a good person? That
Yes.
feeling, like this person is good, but they're having an issue, versus this person is kind of evil and they're doing things in a way that they don't mind hurting someone and getting away with it. And they hide behind an idea of like vulnerability, or something happened to me, or I have an excuse for something. So I think those are things to take into consideration. Like, is this person always playing victim, even though they know
Yes.
it's their fault? Or
Yes.
my favorite test, and this can save you from narcissists, because there's many more than we think that there are out there, and narcissists can leave a lot of lasting damage on a human over time.
Yes.
Can they take accountability? Like something actually happened Like they broke a table out of anger, and you're like, oh, you broke a table out of anger. Like, I didn't break it. Your fault. It's your fault. You made me break it because you're spinning my mind out of control. And then starts like the psychological warfare, which you don't have time for. I think for me, there's certain red flags that are compromisable and others that are like, oh, like this person is demonic. Like I need to move on. And if you see that, you don't need to test it because you're meeting a grown person at a certain point in life. And after you've seen it a couple of times, you're like, this is a behavioral issue. This is something deep down in their nervous system that, you know what, like I'm not God. And I'm not going to play God right now to try to fix it. I'm not even going to try to help because they're not asking for help. And if I try to help without them asking for help, I'm messing up their karma and God's work in their life. So they have to figure it out. And guess what? The right people, they're going to find each other because energy vibrates and it's magnetic. And it's these experiences like you had, Jesse, that make you even understand yourself even better, light your fire even more, and attract the right people. Because what you did subconsciously through that experience, you said, I am deserving of more. I am deserving of someone who fills my soul in a way I don't have to explain. Like that instance where he said, am I even your man? You're like, we are not even existing in the same universe right now.
Exactly.
This is so strange. So you're saying, even though I made an investment, I'm not scared of anything. And you'll attract someone who's able to appreciate that. So I love your story and thank you so much for sharing it. I'll hand it over to Rock to continue with his questions too.
Yeah, I have two interesting questions. If you were asked to be on a TV show again, you ever do it? And have you ever been offered another TV show chance since Love Island Albania?
I did. I have been offered another TV show chance,
Okay.
but I refused it. And not because I'm against TV shows, because that would have been silly. I mean, I came out of TV show. I really enjoyed it. I like being around people and everything. But it took me so long. It took me so much effort to, let's say, to recover. I don't really want to use the word recover, but let's take it like this, to recover from that and try to focus my energies on something else, which is actually my life right now, my business, my studies. That would mean to put on pause again everything for a couple of months in another TV show and then come out of that and start again. Press the button, play again with the business.
Who is Xhesika today?
So Xhesika today is an aesthetic nurse who does aesthetic, which has mainly Albanian clients. They love me and I love them. This is the biggest gift that that show gave me, because I thought I would have been known into the Albanian community for what I do today as exactly as an aesthetic nurse, and I would have gained, yes, more clients, because people see your face and they trust you because they're like, okay, she's been on a TV show, she's telling me she's the nurse and she's able to handle my face, so maybe I can trust her because she's placing herself everywhere. So she's giving me an idea that I can trust her. But I didn't just find clients, I found friends. Because the main problem for me at the beginning in London was feeling alone. I felt so alone. I had no friends. I didn't know anyone. I had to start everything from the beginning. The language was another barrier for me. And I thought, this is going to be difficult. But actually, again, when something is meant to be, it will just be. So I started having lots of clients, but I ended up having friends more than clients, because all the girls, they come to me, they love me, they suggest me to, as Albanians, we're like, oh, I have a cousin, I'm going to bring her to you.
But she's really good. She's really good.
Yes.
You have a good work ethic and reputation to be able to do that.
And that's I love that. I love that because they see that I'm professional. They see that I'm always there for them. I always say to them, this is my number. You can call me 24 hours a day and I will be there to help you, because I want you to feel safe. because you're having a procedure in your face, and obviously it's something that it's on my hands. You have to like that, but I'm the one which is dealing with your face. So I want you to feel safe, relaxed, happy. And that's what they always tell me. When I sit in here, I feel so relaxed that I can close my eyes and you can do whatever you want because I trust you with my eyes closed. And I think that is the biggest win for me, for my business. Because when you have a business, it's like you have a baby, you have to care for it. And leaving it again right now to start on a new TV show, no, I want to take care of my baby. I don't want to go in any TV show.
So you hear that, Rock? When you start needing fillers and Botox, you can go to Jess at her clinic. What's your clinic's name in London?
It's Jessie Aesthetics.
Jessie Aesthetic in London, and she'll take care of you. You don't discriminate, right? Man or woman. You take care of them both.
I have lots of men. Lots of Albanian guys which are coming to the treatments to
You don't need a show. They can come to your clinic. You can find them there. There you go. Love Island clinic version hosted by Jess. I love that, honestly. And I want to ask a bit about your journey in entrepreneurialism, being a woman in business myself, but also doing many things on the side. I feel like we wear many different hats. We are accountants, we're marketing agents, we are the doers of the business, we are delivery people, we are secretaries, we send emails, and we're kind of building everything and learning as we go. And of course, it's difficult to do it in one system with your own language and then going to another country and figuring out how to do it there. So how did you establish your base in business in the UK, and how did you grow through that?
It's just about, I think the key is consistency, because nothing is easy at the beginning. When you start from scratch, nothing is easy. And sometimes you may feel like, oh, is it even worth? Am I doing right? Maybe it won't be the right decision, but it's all about trusting yourself. So you have to trust yourself. You know that I know personally, I know that I have this skill and I'm able to show and prove people my best through this skill. So eventually they will trust me, eventually they will see the result, and eventually my clients will grow. And that's what actually happened to me. My first client was my sister, because no one knew me. And I was scared at the beginning that maybe I was investing and making the wrong choice. Maybe I would have never had enough clients to feel that was a good choice for a business to make. The beginning is never easy, and you have to learn how to take photos in the proper way. You have to learn how many times you have to post, how to post. You have to learn that you have different clients. Someone will be more difficult to deal with, someone will be easier, someone will trust you easier, someone will be like, I don't know, I'm not sure. But when you're sure about your abilities and you're confident and you know that you have an aim and you're willing to be consistent to reach that aim, eventually you will get there.
Okay. That's beautiful. Rock, I'm going to hand it over to you before we go into an Albanian questions round that I'll go through. But what else do you want to ask Jess?
Yeah, for a lot of people that don't know what estheticians do, at least what's one thing you wish people understood more about skincare, like men and women?
And medical skincare and injections and all.
The most important thing that I would like people to know is that their skin is an investment, it's not an expense. Because some people they think like, oh, I'm going to spend this money, get this treatment done, and I'm going to waste my money for this. But that is not true, because when you decide to focus and take care of yourself, your body and your face is a temple. So the more you take care of it, the more it will make you feel good. So that's the main suggestion that I would like to tell people and to let them know. Your skin is an investment, not an expense. So the more you invest in it, the more you're investing into yourself.
That's beautiful. I like that.
I like that too.
Awesome.
I got to start investing.
You got to start investing, Rock. You got to go for a facial.
I got to start.
That's great. So before we go into an Albanian questions round that we really enjoyed doing, I wanted to ask, what's next for Jess? What is she building? What is she focusing on? And are there any projects you want to give us a teaser about?
Yes, there is an amazing project actually. So I'm studying, as I said, what I really like is to keep improving my skills, having new skills, learning new stuff. So I'm gonna do a master degree in aesthetic and have new, more invasive treatment into my clinic, and then have my own brand. So that's what I'm working into it right now.
Bravo.
I will have my own skincare brand. That's the goal. And yes, and start an academy where I can actually teach people how to feel confident, how to practice their skills, and how to make this as your life living, basically.
Okay, we look forward to it. And once that academy gets going, hopefully you'll do some sessions online so people can hear about it too. And people and Albanians from everywhere can tune in. So we look forward to
Yes.
following up with that. And we're not going to ask you if you're getting married anytime soon. That's up to you. That's your personal business. You can just let us know, I'm engaged, and I'll be like, congratulations, it's gonna work out. So really happy to hear that. So Jess, we loved hearing your story, and we love knowing that there's Albanians out there taking charge of their life and their story. You know, what I love about this story is that you took all these prejudices that existed about the show called Love Island Albania that people, and I remember when it was advertised, you were like, what is this? Like, who's going to be on the show? What kind of characters? It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a circus. And you're like, that's your perception. I'm not going to let your perception kind of guide who I'm going to be or limit my ability to grow. So you went on the show, you presented yourself, and you told people, hey, stop judging girls, because first of all, we all know in our culture, the girls are going to be judged first, who want to go do something for themselves. They can be on the show, they can represent who they are and have it go in their direction. And secondly, it gave you so many benefits. Like, it gave you access to a whole new pool of clients that helped you not only develop a business base, but became your friend. So I really want people to know this, that if you want to take a step forward in a different direction, one that's misunderstood, if you feel it's right, just do it and figure it out along the way, because there may be benefits for you being on the other side, whether it's a show or something else. But on the topic of being Albanian, going into a round of Albanian questions, Jess, and think about this because we get the same answer over and over, but you're from Albania proper. So what is your favorite Albanian food?
Pilaf.
Pilaf me pool, apo çfarë?
Oh, me pool. I love pilaf. My mom does the best pilaf. Oh my God, because my mom is a chef.
Oh.
So, pilaf me pool is my favorite one. So I actually have two, but the main one is pilaf me pool. Edhe kofshën e pulës e dua gjithmonë unë. Like everyone knows, when there's pilaf me pool, the kofsha pulës is mine. And the second one is a dish that my grandma makes, which is burek me gjell me domate. I love burek.
I've never had that. Never had that.
What do you mean you never had?
Burek. I've had burek, but yo me gjell me tomate.
Really? Me gjell me domate, cepe domate. So my grandma makes it. I love that dish.
Interesting. I've got to try it that way. I've never had that before. So if you were stuck on an island, since you were on Love Island, Albania, those would be your two. Those would be your two foods to be stuck on an island with, right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it.
That's great. I actually love that because we always hear burek and everyone says burek. And I'm like, what kind? And they're like burek me mish. I'm like, there's many kinds of burek, guys.
Yeah, there's so many different ones.
Yeah. Okay,
I think for us more in Kosovo, we're more just primarily so used to the spinach, cheese, mish, and that's it. Once you get into Albania, I feel like Albania experienced more with all the different stuff.
Do you know, it's actually interesting that each different place, each different area in Albania has the specific burek. So I have some friends which are from the south area, from Korç, for instance. Have you ever heard about burek me lakër? That is crazy. So nice. I love it.
I've never had that.
They do burek me fasule, burek me kungu.
Me fasula. Unë kam dëgjuar burek me presh.
And the me presh. The
Me
presh
Google
is
my
so
favorite.
nice. But I promise you, the me fasule is really, really nice.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
We gotta go. We gotta go for a trip or have some over.
Yeah, I have to go.
Speaking of trips, Jess, Albania's seen a lot of development in the tourism scene recently in the past couple of years. But if you had to choose one or two places to go to every summer or maybe even winter, what are your favorite places to enjoy in Albania?
On top of everyone is Korç. I don't know if you guys have ever been in Korç, but that is a place where there's a lot of culture. I just love the vibe of that place. Every time I go there, I just feel like that's my place in the world. That's how
Really?
I feel.
Korça.
Yes.
Is
Korç.
it the
So-
music, the people? What is it?
Everything is the vibe, is the atmosphere, is the people, is the accent. I love the accent. It's so cute. And my grandma, from the side of my mom, she is from Korç.
Okay.
So every time I go there, I stop to meet all the relatives, and that place really makes me feel like home.
Mm.
And obviously the second place, but if we're talking about holidays, definitely the seaside area. I love Saranda. I really love Saranda. The sea is amazing. The life during summer is amazing. The food is amazing. Everything. I mean, Albania is growing, and in terms of tourism, is growing in a positive way. There's still some areas, or there's still some areas that can be improved somehow, but it's beautiful, it's growing, and it's definitely worth it for whoever comes from.
Is the food better in Italia or in Albania?
That's not even a question.
Hey,
I'll
I
give
don't
you
know.
the answer
Italians
first.
got
Go
good
ahead,
food.
Jess. You've lived there.
But it's two different type of foods. You cannot even compare.
It's very
It's
different.
different.
Yeah, you spend too much time in Italy to give us that answer. That's why.
I had to stump
That's
her.
fair.
Who have been some of your if you've ever had any Albanian people that have been inspirations to you in your life in terms of family, friends, people who are famous, not famous, has there ever been an inspiration from Albania that's ever like, I want to be more like this person because they're unique, or anybody ever inspire you?
My mom.
Your mom. Okay.
She's the main inspirement for me. So she's and there's a real reason why, because when in the age when our parents were teenagers, there was a lot of used to when your parents decided who you were going to be married to. And my mom was the first one who, at the age of 17, she was like, no one is choosing for me. I love this person, and that's going to be my partner. And there is no other choice. No one is going to decide for me. And that was the bravest thing that a woman in that time could have done, to my personal opinion. So she got married with my father because she really loved him. And they did that step to leave Albania, start a new life together in Italy. And she was only 20 years old. She was 20 years old with a little girl, not knowing the language, not knowing anything, starting again from the beginning in a new place without knowing whatever's going to happen in her life. And they built their own family. Okay, things didn't work out, but again, as I said at the beginning, whatever gives you what you don't what you wished but you didn't have, it will teach you what you don't want in life. And again, my mother, after all the difficulties, started again in another country at the age of 50 in London without even knowing the language. So who could ever be the biggest inspirant of my life if not my mom?
I love that. Strong woman raised strong woman. So we definitely see that in you. I'm gonna ask another question, which is more so in terms of the music scene, and we'll wrap it up. Do you have any favorite Albanian artists that you listen to?
I mainly listen only just to Albanian music, so I love Albanian music. I really, I maybe this is a bit unusual, but I love Noisy, not just because he's famous, well known, what I really love is to find sense into the lyrics of his songs. I love to listen to the lyrics. Sometimes I cannot even understand what he's saying because they talk too fast and the music and everything. So I like to go there, check the lyrics, analyze what he's saying, and be like, oh yeah, I can really find myself in this, or I can really find myself in that. So yeah, that is my favorite artist.
I think in the last couple of years he's definitely improved a lot with his storytelling and his music for sure. I like it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been developing like a British rap accent when he like
Yes.
sings in his songs, which I think is an influence of like the British hip hop and rap scene. I'm like, okay, you go, boy. I see you. I
He's
notice
been
it.
there most of his
So,
life, I think, right? I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, he's got a
awesome.
good influence in music. I like his music too now. I'm starting to start to listen to him. I never listened to him up until the past year and a half. So
Oh, really?
it's very new to me. As an artist, he's very new to me. As a person, I always knew who he was, but I never listened
Yeah.
to his music. So I'm starting to like a lot of his music now that I understand him too, you know? Like you said,
Yeah.
hard to understand some people when they
Yeah.
make music, especially for somebody that learned Albanian outside the country. So
Yeah.
when I
Exactly.
listened to him, it was difficult at first. Now it's just going. It flows. So
Yes.
Jess, we want to say thank you so much for coming and telling us about your life and your experience and your journey of growth, which I know is going to be inspiring to so many other people in general, not just Albanians out there who may be in the same situations. You gave us advice about relationships, about building a business and kind of starting from new. And I really love the love that you have for your mom. I also have a deep connection with my mom, and I think all moms, especially Albanian moms, deserve a shout out when it comes to that. So
Definitely.
thank you so much. We'll give you a shout out to your business and everything you're doing online. But if people want to find you and say hello, where can they find you on Instagram?
They can find me on it's Xhesika Elezi, or in my personal Instagram there is my link to the clinic as well, which is Jessie Aesthetics. So it's very easily you can just click the link and find the clinic. Yes.
and what's one short thing you could tell to other Albanian women or girls who are just starting out in the field with you? You know, give them some words of encouragement for the beginning. Because I think a lot of people
So to definitely, I know it's something that's been said, it's been heard many times, to never give up, because we are a population, we are someone who comes from a culture which is a strong culture. We are proud of ourselves, and we love and we are proud to show to people who don't believe in us how we do win, how we do manage to do things. And we showed and proved this all over the world. Such a small country as Albania showed and proved to everyone all over the world how strong we are, how passionate we are, and how ready to prove everyone wrong we are. So definitely to never give up, because if something is meant for you, it will always find a way to reach you.
God bless. Good.
I mean, I love that. And with that, we will say thank you to Jess. Thank you for that beautiful closing. And we hope to catch you next time on another episode of DGXM podcast. Thank you,
It
guys.
was my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
I'll wait to you in London, in my clinic.